Hello, business building warrior. Thank you for joining me today for a conversation that I think you're going to enjoy. And I'll get to the topic in just a moment, but I got a cool thing that's happened the past few days. These are conversations that have happened in our Facebook group that I wanted to share with you. I'm so proud of our team. I'm so proud of the leadership team, the coaches, the content creators, the administrators in our Facebook group. They truly serve every day with all their heart, and we've seen the results. That's what this podcast is. It's interviews with our students who have seen the results of the effort our leadership team has put into helping them grow a very real business. We love to see people use the internet creatively to build the income streams of their dreams, giving them the flexibility, the freedom to pursue those things that they love while building a beautiful business and all the great benefits that come along with that. So that's what we do here. But there's been some great Facebook posts in the group. Before I get to our topic, let me just tell you what I'm talking about here. So this is, as I'm recording this, just a day ago. So here we are, late January 2025. Tomorrow's February as I'm recording this. And the post basically said, hey guys, I'm looking for advice on the coaching program. Has anybody gone through the coaching program with Jim Cockrum Coaching? What's your experience been? And over the years, we've been doing e-commerce coaching for 20 years. So every few weeks, a post like this pops up. And typically we'll hop in and encourage them, hey, search the group for the word coach or coaching. You're going to see numerous great conversations. Go check out the podcast. You're going to hear hundreds of interviews with our students, and you can kind of judge for yourself from that. But we leave the post up and see what happens as well. And in this case, there was a good number of people who chimed in, and I'm just going to read you some of the comments from some of the other students who chimed in on this conversation. So I'll be paraphrasing. You can go see this conversation for yourself for the interest of time. But first one was from Brian, who said, hey, I'm a part of the coaching program. It's provided more information and opportunities than I can possibly ever utilize. Sings very high praises about the program. It's brought some awesome people into my life, helped me step out of my comfort zone, helped me think through tough business decisions. If you want to go further, faster, there's nothing better. So Brian had to say. Then scrolling down. Hi, Tracy. Tracy's the one who left the post. And then Mark chimed in. Hey, Tracy, my wife and I are currently in the coaching program. Can't say enough good things about it. Our coaches and the proven Amazon course, highly recommended. And goes on and gives more specific details. We hear from a couple coaches chiming in. We hear from Katie, who was recently on the podcast not too long ago. She points that out, Katie Powell. She was episode 957. She points out in her response, says, hey, I've learned so much from coaching that she wouldn't have even have thought of to try to learn on her own. I didn't know what I didn't know. And that's such a great point. A lot of the benefit of having a coach is you've got a set of eyes that knows what to look for. You know what questions you should be asking. We can always tell when we're dealing with a new student who's truly green by the questions they ask. There's so many false premises built into their questions, and there's so many wrong assumptions, and they're not asking the right questions. So knowing the right questions to ask and then getting answers to those, we call it going further, faster. If you're stumbling around in the dark in strange territory with a blindfold on and your hands tied behind your back, that's the equivalent of trying to figure it all out on your own. You will eventually. It's just going to take you a lot longer, and it's going to be a lot more painful of a process. And unfortunately, if you're building a business on Amazon specifically, there's a whole host of mistakes that you're very likely to make just using your basic instincts, thinking, you watched a few YouTube videos, I'm going to go experiment now. You're going to make some serious mistakes that could undermine your future potential of having any business on the platform. You could violate a policy that gets you banned, for example. There's actually a really good post as a side note about that topic. Go to silentjim.com/mistakes, and we list out the most common mistakes we see new sellers make if they choose to go it alone and not get some help and instruction on their journey setting up a beautiful business on Amazon. But that's kind of a side note here. Katie goes on to say, The most beneficial part has been having a guide to work step by step to keep me from taking the wrong paths. Absolutely confirms everything I'm saying right now. We see it so often. Unfortunately, what we see very, very often is people who come into our group. We call ourselves a burn unit for this reason. We are a burn unit for the e-commerce industry. People go off, they launch something, they put a bunch of money into it, they get all excited, they build it up, they pour resources and time and effort and energy, they've got their product, and nothing's working. And they come into our community and say, hey guys, here's the problem. I need someone to tell me how to run better paid ads because I've got a garage full of stuff I can't sell. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. The problem isn't that you need better paid ads. The problem happened 9 months ago when you fell for a YouTube post or for an Instagram story and someone was saying, send us a bunch of money and we'll help you sell a bunch of stuff on Amazon, follow our $8,000 course and we'll take you to the promised land. That's when the mistake was made. Everything you've been doing since then is digging a hole. And you're coming to us now and saying, hey, I've got this huge hole I've dug. Can someone get me out? Unfortunately, we've got some bad news. I mean, we'll tell you to stop digging the hole, but that's about as good as it gets for a lot of these unfortunate scenarios. How much better would it be to find a community? And this is the litmus test I want to give you. I mention this from time to time. Hold us to this exact same standard. Before you get into any e-commerce business opportunity or any business opportunity for that matter, there's a lot of people, a lot of really good people training business strategies out there. But here's how you can tell the people who are worth paying attention to and the people that should be completely ignored. It's a simple test. And I'm shocked that more people don't use it. Stop falling for the shiny object syndrome and use this simple test. The test is this. Ask the people who are proposing that they're going to teach you business strategies. Ask them, hey, where do your students hang out and how can I join them? That's it. Simple enough, right? Is that a scary question? Of course not. Where do your students hang out and how can I join them? If they say, well, you got to give us $8,000 before you can, or if they say, you got to give us $50, if they say anything besides, here's the link to our free community, go hang out with our students. They're all in there hanging out, answering questions, helping each other grow. That's what we do here. And there's a handful of other communities out there, but we're consistently voted the best group for Amazon sellers in the industry. That's very recent voting, less than a couple months old. We were voted the top group, top podcast, top event, courses, content, YouTube channel. We won a lot of prizes in some recent industry-wide voting because we do it the right way. We want you to succeed. We're not afraid to show you our community and say, hey, here's all the people who are doing it right now. Some of them are struggling. Here's why. Here's what they're facing. Some of them are doing really, really well. Here's the lessons we can learn. But if you can't receive transparency from the community before you spend money with that community on a concept, you are probably stepping into a trap that's going to cause you misery down the road. Do not step out in blind faith. It doesn't have to be expensive either. That's one of the things we teach here. If you think you have to spend a whole bunch of money now and hope that the business works out later, you're doing Amazon, you're doing e-commerce the wrong way. Business worked that way for thousands of years until the internet came along. And now what's changed is you can still do business the old way if you want. You can spend a whole bunch of money and hope it works out someday, or you can wade in nice and slow, making little tests. The stuff that works, you go a little deeper with. You don't take any big risks. You never put a large pool of capital at risk. That's what we teach here. So we really have taken all the risk out of the process. And like Katie said in her response to this question from someone asking about our coaching program, the most beneficial part was having a guide to keep me from making all the big mistakes. And sorry to spend so much time on that topic, but we see so much of it and it's just so tragic when we see it, and we'd love to help prevent that. Here's another. My wife and I started the coaching program just over a year ago, and he's offering us, hey, be glad to have a conversation with you and talk you through our experiences. I love that we're able to be so transparent. I love that our podcast is built on interviewing the people who have been through our programs. Am I saying it's always sunshine and rainbows and cherry on top every time? No, absolutely not. You do realize that business is risk, work, sacrifice, blood, sweat, tears. It doesn't always work out. Life happens. People get sick. Life interrupts. Things break. Things that you thought were a sure thing fall through, shipments get delayed, stuff gets broken. Right. But we're business building warriors. We find a way to come through those scenarios. And when you surround yourself with good people and you've got a great strategy and a process that you're following, well, you're going to do great more often than not, especially when you're playing in an arena that is expanding faster than any other economic sector in the United States. That's right. E-commerce is growing faster than anything else. Amazon is half the action, approximately. There's so much underserved shelf space at Amazon's hundreds of warehouses, and we'd love to teach you that low risk model that you can start to wade into that opens up so many beautiful doors. And that's the topic I want to talk about today. What are the doors of opportunity that open up to you as you begin to follow our curriculum and build a business? You could build a 7-figure business using just that basic strategy. We've got dozens of strategies we teach for making money on Amazon and through e-commerce. But if you just stick to the one basic strategy of helping fill the underserved shelf space at Amazon's hundreds of warehouses, we call it the Replens model. It's the basic level training in the Proven Amazon course. If that's all you do and you learn those skills, which will take you a few weeks to a few months, depending on how much time you put into it and your dedication to the process. But once you've got that skill set and you've sold a few items, had your first $5,000, $10,000 month, maybe $30,000 month, hey, you have some doors open in front of you that you may not even realize are wide open, huge opportunity doors. And I want to talk through some of those today. It's not just about selling random widgets to strangers and selling boring items on shelves, Amazon's empty shelf space, underserved shelf space. It's not just that, although that's a beautiful business and there's people with multiple 7-figure businesses doing just that. But here's some of the doors that start to open. I made some notes here, and this is in no particular order. But one of the doors that starts to open up to you is you could be hired by a brand. You start reaching out to some of these brands that you're selling, saying, hey, I'm seeing some problems on Amazon. I think I could help you out. What do you think? The brand gets back to you and says, wow, we've been looking for someone to help us because it's a mess over there. What do you think? You can make them a win-win proposition, a no-lose proposition. They can't lose. You're not asking them to spend a whole bunch of money and hope it works out someday. You're just saying, hey, can I clean up your Amazon listings? Can I get your stuff listed properly? Maybe create some creative bundles or give me a letter of authorization. Let me do some creative things with your brand here and create some of my own unique bundles, right? All kinds of opportunities that are open to you because you understand the basics. And if you listen to our podcast, you're going to hear dozens of people who have done just that. It becomes very lucrative. You're creating multiple income streams. There's a module inside the Proven Amazon course. You pay $39 a month. You get all the training modules that we have. That's what Proven Amazon course is. ProvenAmazonCourse.com, $39 a month. Get in there. One of the modules is the PPP, Proven Product Partnering. It teaches you how to do what I just described. Reach out to brands, get an agreement in place, make an arrangement where you're benefiting to help their brand go. It's already a brand on Amazon. They already have momentum. They just don't pay attention to their account. And there's easily tens or hundreds of thousands of brands that meet that description that could use your help, that would gladly pay you a percent of profits if you can boost their brand. You hear these stories all the time on our show. It's kind of that next level of maturity. Well, I'm going to pop through the rest of my list here just to get the wheels turning. If you want to talk more about any of these, hop into our Facebook group. It's free. silentjimdotcom has a link. Happy to discuss any of these in more detail. But next, you could get hired by a partner or a brand. That's right. We've seen that. We've had people who are resellers just selling random widgets to strangers on Amazon, filling the underserved shelf space, reaching out, having conversations from time to time with other brands and people in our community who get ridiculous job offers. One person in particular, the part of the job offer was, hey, we're going to buy your Amazon business. Here's a check. We want you to come work for us for more money than you are making with your business. And we want you to help us build our brand because we like you. Because he'd reached out, had conversations, and been helpful. How cool is that? So you could get hired as a consultant. He still works from home. He said, I just have a very flexible schedule, same as I used to have, getting paid by paycheck, more money than I ever made with my reselling business. And I'm on the staff now, right? That's another door of opportunity that comes to you. Just to give you examples. Next, you can get brand exclusives, meaning once you know how to do the Amazon landscape, you can reach out to brands. And now maybe they don't want you representing their Amazon account. They're already set there, but they're willing to let you on the account with them. They're willing to say, hey, yeah, we only want 1 or 2 sellers, maybe 3 tops, and you're one of them. And that can be very, very lucrative to get that locked in position. They've got a huge catalog of products, and any other seller that hops on there, they're going to give them a hard time, and sellers will kind of come and go, and they're going to get the letters in the mail. They're allowed on the listing, but the brand's going to make their life miserable, so they tend to drift away, right? But you get those exclusive arrangements, especially if they're brand registered. Now Amazon is backing up the arrangement as well in some ways. So regardless, I'm not going to dive into those weeds right now, but you get a brand exclusive arrangement. That can be a great deal. I was talking to one of the leaders in our community today. He's about to land an $80,000 a month brand exclusive arrangement with a brand that he reached out to. Why? Well, because he has the credibility. He understands Amazon better than the brand does. They're happy to let him be the only one that gets to order from their catalog without getting challenged for doing so. Next, you could start teaching, training, coaching others. Think through this with me. Of all the e-commerce ideas I've been exposed to, there's dozens and dozens, maybe probably at this point, hundreds of different business ideas and strategies I've been exposed to. I haven't seen anything as consistent as what we teach as our new seller training model here. That's why we teach it, because it's consistent, low risk, low barrier to entry, low dollar amount required. Yes, there's work involved. Yes, you have to learn some new skills, but your odds of success are very high if you put in the work, because there's so much demand there. There's so much underserved shelf space at Amazon's hundreds of warehouses, and we teach you how to find it, which is a skill that you need to develop. But once you have that skill, I was talking to a leader recently who is finding 100 plus underserved ASINs, underserved listings on Amazon every time they sit down to do it. It's just, once you've got the skill, it's everywhere. These ASINs are everywhere. So once you've got that skill, you can start teaching others. Why not? Start training a few. That's how we've recruited the coaches on our team. Now, you have to have a good degree of success to be a coach on our team. That's a pre-qualifier. But we'd love to bring on, that's a side income stream for many of the coaches on our team, as they pick up a handful of clients at a time and help them build what the coach has already built. That's the beauty of having a coach and a mentor. They're showing you how to do something that they've already done themselves and are doing currently, help you avoid all the mistakes. That's how we started our show today, right? Avoid all those pitfalls and all those disasters and stay on the path and truly build something. You can go so much further, so much faster that way. Well, you could become a coach as well. Why not? Once you have these skills, why not train? Why not share your story? Why not take on a few clients at a time? Take on a few local businesses at a time. These are doors that are open to you once you understand the basics. You could launch your own brand. We've seen it happen many times. People get a private label brand, launch it on Amazon. If you start there, that's a big mistake. Huge mistake to start trying to launch your own brand as the first adventure on Amazon. But you can grow to that after learning the basics, and you could have your own brand. And we'll talk more about that. You see us talk about it a lot in our community. I think I need to move on because I'm a bit of a time crunch. I've got to wrap this one up soon. Unfortunately, I tucked it into my calendar in a tight spot today. Hopefully you don't mind me kind of flying through this list. Next, you could open a prep center. What's that mean? Well, we've got a lot of international students, and we've got a lot of people with small properties, maybe live in an apartment somewhere. And we've got a lot of people that just don't want their purchases on their front porch or in their garage. They'd rather have someone else open the boxes, inspect the inventory, slap some labels on it, and send it to Amazon. And they'll pay them a little bit for each unit that they do that with. Hey, you could do that. You got a little extra space. You know how the process works. You're sending in your own shipments anyway. Open a prep center, take on 1, 2, 3 clients. We see a lot of people doing that, and it's a nice, lucrative side income business for them. Just another door of opportunity that's open to you once you step into this arena. If you go to prepcenternetwork.com, it's a website, prepcenternetwork.com, you'll see for free a list of all the known prep centers in our community and elsewhere. If you want to be part of it, step up, put your name in there, we'll add you to the list. We don't have any kind of a rating system or review system. You got to kind of call around and see who's a good fit for you. But we love to see new prep centers being added. There's huge demand. As international students jump on Amazon, they can't ship their inventory all the way across the world to wherever they live. Like one of our coaches is in one of our great leaders is in Slovakia. He doesn't ship stuff to Slovakia and then ship it back to the United States. No, he ships it to a prep center in the United States. He shops online, has it delivered to his friendly prep center, and they do all the work for him from that point forward. He just is in charge of the system, but he doesn't actually touch the inventory, right? So if you live in the US, you can do that. If you live overseas, you can do that. But the point is, there's a lot of demand for prep centers. And once you know the basics, you could open a prep center. Start small. I've seen some prep centers start small, helping a few friends, grow into a business where that's their main business. And that's what they do. These are the doors that open to you. You can get into A to A and A to W. What's that mean? Amazon to Amazon flips, Amazon to Walmart flips. That's right. You can get into the flip game. Don't start there. Learn the basics. Learn the difference between a risk worth taking and throwing your money in the wind. You've got to understand the basics. That's why we start you with Replens. But once you know those basics, so many incredible opportunities open, and now you can get onto other platforms. Now you can find inventory in creative ways that you couldn't before. Amazon to Walmart, we see so many sellers in our community who have Walmart accounts as a backup to their Amazon account. Now, Walmart is a tiny fraction of the size of Amazon, but it's a great way to get rid of your inventory. It's a great second income stream. And for many sellers in our community, it's become every bit as much of a net positive for them as their Amazon business, if not more. But they had to learn Amazon first, because until you know the basics of how to play on the big game, you're going to struggle to do well on the smaller platforms. Amazon is where you got to start. But once you know the basics, these doors open up to you. Only 2 left on the list. This is one that is so interesting to me, and I've seen a lot of people succeed here, and that is creating tools for sellers. We talked about creating a prep center. What if you created software and tools to make the lives easier of sellers? There's all kinds of little challenges. This is a new and emerging industry. All kinds of opportunities there. I know of a tool business, tools for Amazon sellers, that just sold for $200 million, right? And what they did is they collected some tools that are popular for Amazon sellers. They bundled them together as one company, and it sold for $200 million. That's incredible. There's a huge need for this. So just another opportunity. Once you understand how the game is played, you can begin serving other sellers in creative ways. It's a door that's open. Finally, you can get into retail. How cool is that? One of the coolest stories to emerge from our community over the past several years has been perhaps Mike Brown and his Death Wish coffee. Started off as a small brand in our community. He was in his mom's garage, and now it's a household name brand. Just a guy in our community kind of stumbling his way through the Amazon game, and ended up launching a national brand that's in 35,000 retail stores at this point. We've got the connections and the resources to make those kind of things happen here. But you don't start off with that. You don't start there. Some people have money to throw to the wind and try to go big or go home right out of the gate. Most people don't. You can wade in nice and slow, and those kind of things become possible. We'd love to help you on your journey. Hey, if you want to have a conversation with someone on our team, or maybe me, I take some of these calls as well as often as I can, get on our schedule. Let's have a conversation about where you are right now in your business, where you'd like to be, and see if some of our free or low-cost resources, or maybe some one-on-one coaching to help you go further faster. Let's see which makes the most sense for you and your goals and where you're at. Sometimes people say, Jim, am I ready for a coach? How can I know if I'm ready for a coach? Am I too new? Am I too advanced? At what point should I be looking at a coach? Here's how I answer it. Whenever you're ready to go further faster, that's when you're ready for a coach. You've got to have margin in your life to be ready to go further faster. That means you've got to have emotional, physical, mental, relational, financial, time. You've got to have margin in those areas, because if you've got no time and you've an estranged marriage and you just got a divorce and you've got 3 jobs and you're about to get fired and you're deeply in debt, no, that's not the time. to try to launch a business. You don't have a lot of margin. You're sick. You can barely get out of bed more than 1 or 2 days a week. That's a tough time to launch a business. And that's an extreme example, I know, but let's go to the other end of the spectrum. Yeah, you've got a few extra hours. You got a little extra money. You got some time. You're ready and motivated to learn some new things. You're ready to have a period of intense, focused effort. Yeah, you've got margin. Let's go. I don't care what your experience level is. It's more about the margin you have. Let's go. silentjim.com/book a call is the link that you need to get on our schedule, or text us anytime or call us anytime. There's a phone number on that page as well. We'd love to connect with you. We've got consultants on our team who work with both the businesses that we consult with, as well as the people considering our coaching programs or our other programs as well. We'd love to have a conversation with you if we've never met. Let's help map out your best roadmap. I think I'm going to wrap this up here. I've got another call I'm going to jump on here in just a moment. It has been a pleasure hanging out with you today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being the best part of our podcast. I'll leave you with one last little reminder. Our Proven Conference is coming up in May of 2025. You do not want to miss this event. The live event is 100 times better than watching the recordings later, and that's not an exaggeration. You need to be there. The conversations in the hallway, the connections, form a mastermind group. You will leave with at least 20 to 30 ideas that you're saying, I can't believe I've never done this or heard this before. I've got to do this right now. It will put more money in my pocket starting now. It's that kind of actionable content. Every one of our breakout sessions is people who are doing the stuff that they're teaching, actively doing it. I don't bring in a bunch of professional speakers with books to sell. It's leaders from our community. It's students from our community, coaching students who've never spoken in front of groups of people before, sharing exactly what's working right now. You've got to be a part of this event. Come the last 3 days of May 2025. Come down to Orlando, right next to SeaWorld. Beautiful resort. Rooms are just a little over $100 a night. Bring your family. Great, friendly place. All fenced in, multiple swimming pools, lots of outdoor stuff to do for if your family that's not attending sessions. They will have a blast. You'll have fun. Come a few days early, stay a few days late. Our discount extends several days on either side of the last 3 days of May. So the 29th, 30th, and 31st of May, 2025 in Orlando. Plan to join us. The details are all at this website. Ready? 3 words. theprovenconference.com. Get over there, get your tickets, lock it in. We want to see you there. Can't wait to see the community gather. We had about over 800 to 850 or so people there last year. Phenomenal event. Can't wait to do it again in May. I think I'm going to wrap it up right here. Thanks for hanging out with me. Like I said, we'll have more great interview episodes and other great episodes coming to you very soon. Stay tuned for those. Talk to you then.
Thanks for listening to this great episode of Silent Sales Machine Radio. We have a very quick announcement that you don't want to miss right now.
Does anyone out there ever feel uncertain when choosing an ASIN to test? Like, it's ambiguous and you're not really sure?
Yeah, or like you have to stand on one leg on the second Tuesday of the first week of the month if the moon is in retrograde.
Right. And hold your mouth right. You got to remember to hold your mouth right. Then you might possibly
consider testing that ASIN someday, maybe.
Right. Sometimes Keepa seems overwhelming. Mm-hmm. Like it's got so many data points. What if I'm missing something? I'm afraid I'm missing something, so I don't want to pull the trigger. Right?
Yes. Well, we host a 2-day workshop that will demystify the process of building a predictable, scalable, and sustainable book of business on Amazon.
Yeah, it starts with a pre-flight inspection of a listing. So you can answer the question, should I go any further with this ASIN or do I need to move on?
If you get past that, we're going to show you how to apply 3 simple yes or no questions that will help you decide whether to pull the trigger or not. Yeah. Like, is this even a good ASIN to test?
Right. And if you do decide to test it, we'll help you implement a framework for a 4-week testing process. And this process is clear and methodical, and it'll tell you whether you should replenish that ASIN or not.
Now, in these 2 days, we're going to roll up our sleeves and we're going to practice how to apply these critical concepts together. It's intense, it's focused, and it's packed with frameworks, quizzes, and actionable information that really is going to stack the deck in your favor when finding your first 100 replenishable ASINs.
Or your next 100 replenishable ASINs.
Yes, I love it.
Yes. You're going to leave with a roadmap to create your foundational book of business over the next few months.
Our next workshop is May 27th and 28th in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah, but seating is limited. It's an intimate setting, but you'll be able to ask all of your questions, plus you'll hear all the questions of the other attendees.
Yeah, this is fun, dynamic, educational. It's a great experience where you will get to meet and work with other people who are doing the same things that you are with similar goals. Mm-hmm. Imagine how you would feel when you get back home after the workshop and you're feeling transformed from unsure to certain, from cautious to confident, from overwhelmed to empowered.
Right. Yeah. You don't have to stand on one leg anymore and hold your mouth right. Just
Right.
making sure, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. So if you would like to feel that way, go to provenamazoncourse.com/100. That's provenamazoncourse.com/100. And we look forward to seeing you there because we're inspired by the accomplishments of others.
We're passionate about helping others reach their goals.
And we're committed to sharing the keys to success that have been shared with us.